Hello there, it's Anna. I'm the founder of Women's Health and Fitness Club. We are Fit Attitude, and I have one of our members, Suzanne, who has been with us for a little while, well, came and went, so I'm going to let Suzanne tell that story. But Suzanne, cast your mind back to pre-WAFA days, and could you just tell us a little bit about life in Suzanne's world?
Yeah, pre-WAFA days. So back in 19, I had a child in 2017, and then in 2018 on Mother's Day, I remember sitting in my bed, eating chocolate on a Sunday morning, mothering Sunday morning.
Of course.
Of course, as you do. And my friend from Australia, she put up pictures, a really close friend of mine, she put up pictures of herself where she had been involved in some kind of a fitness thing, and she did before and after photos, and she looked amazing, and I was like, oh my goodness. I only thought this in my head. I was like, oh my goodness, I need to get cracking because, I'm on the wrong side of 40 to be thinking that I can eat chocolate in bed on a Sunday morning. And it was like Facebook could read my mind, because I went onto Facebook and next thing WAFA started coming up. And I'd never seen it before. And I rang you straight away because I thought, okay, I'm ready for this. And I rang you and I started the following week. And the Body Fix in 6.
Yes.
Yeah, So I did that for 5 weeks, and then I went to Ireland for my niece's communion, and completely lost momentum. We were in the middle of buying a property. Things were going. There was just a lot of stuff going on, and I think because I was never really used to doing good things for myself or to myself when it comes to stressful situations, I just kind of dropped it. I was feeling really good after doing WAFA. My body was feeling strong. I remember going through the airport, and I had Jack in a sling, and I remember my body was I was able to carry him with confidence. That's how that's how good I felt. But everything just went skewy after that.
Life got in the way, I think, probably more than anything.
It did. Life got in the way, and I think what I've learned between now and then is there's better ways of dealing with life than what I did at that time. So fast forward a year later, and it was nearly, Anna, I think it was nearly a year to the day. I don't know what it is about that time.
I think you're right. Because it was when we were in lockdown, wasn't it? That I approached you again, and I was like, I wonder what's happened to Suzanne. I'm going to message her.
I'm getting a niggle from you every now and then. A little text. How you do? Yeah, little poke. And I'll be like, most of the time I'm like, oh, bugger off, Anna, will you? God, stop reminding me how shit I am.
That's all right, I can take it. At the end of the day, we're a business. That's fine.
That's what I was thinking. I never said that to you. I just ignored you, really.
Whatever. Yeah. Anyway, back to the story.
And then you had sent me this message, and I was like, oh, you know what? Because WAFA was always in the back of my mind. It was always something that I knew one day I was going to go back to, because it was something that always worked for me. And I have never been a fitness person. I've never been a healthy person. I am professionally, I'm a mental health nurse and a social worker. So I know all about mind, body, and soul, the holistic thing. I know all of that in some respects, but actually putting it into practice is actually a completely different thing. So I was used to, I guess, talking to other people and telling other people how to live their lives, but never really taking care of myself in the way that I should have done. So I remember one night I was in the bath, and I was like, I need to connect with Anna. I need to tell her that I need to come back. And she just jumped out. You're good at that, because you were like, I think it was like, I think it might have been a Saturday or a Sunday. I don't know. I started WAFA the following Monday. So it was days later. You didn't even give me, and I liked it. You didn't even give me a chance to.
Well, we were talking, you were in the bath. It was Saturday night, I think, or something. And you were in the bath phoning me. And I was like, okay.
I know. How weird is that? I was actually sent you a voicemail. I think it was like, tell you my life story.
Oh, that's right. It was. You were left me a long message and you were in the, anyway.
I did. Anyhow.
You did. You came
Oh,
back
and
to
my
WAFA.
yes, actually, and my biggest thing was, I think I was waiting for, because I started smoking the year before when I started smoking again. I didn't just take up smoking randomly, but when we were buying a property, and the first property fell through, and my first reaction to stress was I just started smoking again, gave up the healthy stuff, and yeah, so then I was stuck in the cycle of, well, I can't do exercise until I stop smoking because I'm not going to be able to do it, blah blah blah. And one thing that you said to me when you rang me back, you were like, "Sue, do you know, if you just start exercising, and you will find that you will stop wanting to smoke naturally." And I was like, all right then, I'll give that a go, because that's never happened. So I was like, so I started the Body 6 and 6 again.
Body Fix in 6. No one gets it right. Body Fix in 6.
It's really not that difficult. It's not that difficult.
6 and 6. It was my brainstorming when I first started WAFA. What can I call it? Body Fix in 6. Everyone can say that, right? No one to this day. Anyway.
So for the first 6 weeks, because I joined up the following Monday, and I did the 28 meal plan, and I was really, really dedicated to it. And I lost, because one thing about weight, I think I've always seen, I never, I think, considered myself to be an unhealthy person, because I never put on weight. I was unhealthy in other ways, but you couldn't see it physically. So if I saw somebody overweight, I would automatically go, oh God, they're really unhealthy. Whereas I used to be able to eat whatever I wanted. I'm not a skinny malinky or anything, but I used to be able to eat whatever I wanted. I never really had to worry about that. And then obviously got to the stage where, I think during lockdown and whatnot, where just eating way too much, drinking wine too much, smoking loads, things like that. And then I just obviously realized how unhealthy I was getting, and so did the Body 6 and 6 Fix in 6, and I was like, do you know what I found that I was doing? After every session that I did, I was doing 3 a week. I was like, every time I did a session, I wanted a cigarette. And I spoke to my brother. My brother is he's a real fitness fanatic, and he was like, it's the high. You want to keep the high going, but having a cigarette is not a high, but that's the way he explained it to me. And then, Anna, I've stopped smoking. I'm
like, well, I didn't know that you were wanting to smoke a cigarette after a class.
Every class, I wanted a cigarette. That's how much of a...
You didn't tell me that, did you?
Well, no. Well, obviously, I'm not going to tell you. I'm like, Anna, every time I've had a class, just want a cigarette. You'd be like, what? A little bit like your reaction now, to be fair.
You'd be like, oh God, she's going to tell me off again if I do it. I
yeah.
put the fear of God.
I didn't mention it. So anyhow,
well done. That is amazing. So
yeah, so I have stopped smoking, and this is my 5th or 6th week. I think it's the 5th week. And the first 2 weeks I started using patches to help with the cravings and stuff like that. But that's still feeding the nicotine into the system. So I just went cold turkey 3 weeks ago, and I'm doing really well. I don't have any kind of inclinations to smoke whatsoever.
good.
Yeah, so if anybody's watching this that's a smoker and you want a natural way to give up smoking,
I haven't paid you to say that.
Yeah, just join WAFA. It's a natural way. I thought you were mental. You were like, oh, you're going to naturally want to give it up. And I was like, for the first, I suppose, because when did I start again? Was it June?
It was June, yeah.
June. And I think probably for the first 8 or 10 weeks, I was like, I'm never going to stop smoking. It was my biggest disappointment in myself that I started smoking again last year, because of the fact that I'm a massive nicotine addict or a smoking addict. It's not like going out to have a social cigarette with a drink. I would have a cigarette with every profound thought I had, or if I felt stressed, oh, I better have a cigarette. Think about that. So it was very ingrained in my way of thinking, in my way of life. And I've given up many times, but this time, with continuing with exercise and better feeling in myself, I found it really
How
easy.
do you feel, like, from before WAF, joining again? How are you feeling then, mentally, physically? Is it?
So it's a slow. Everything's a slow process with me. So I'm not I'm not a disciplined person. I'm a bit of a I don't know. I just take each day as it comes normally. The last couple of weeks, well, I won't say couple of weeks, couple of nights, maybe a week, before I go to bed, I'm planning things in my head about what I'm going to do the next day. I'm waking up in the morning, and before I get out of bed, I'm planning what I'm going to do. I never did that before. I would just get up and see how I feel, blah, blah, blah. And now I am very much known that I need to put pen to paper, and I need to do lists, and I need to start ticking things off. It's kind of like, I was listening to one of the WAFA members, was it Fiona? I hope I haven't got her name wrong.
Yeah.
She talks about the ripple effect.
Oh, Linda. Sorry. Linda.
She talked about the ripple effect, and I watched her video, and I was like, that's exactly it. It's the ripple effect. And it's just, that's what's happening to me, is the ripple effect. And it's such a positive thing, and it's such a good thing. Like, I'm going camping in a couple of weeks with some friends, like family friends, and I'm so looking forward to it. And I'm like, all I can do is just like I'm planning it from, like, I'm planning everything. Whereas I think before that, I would
make you feel better though, that kind of bit more.
Totally. I feel more. It's a funny one, Anna. It's a funny one for me, because it's making me feel like I've got more control over my life, and I don't think I've ever had that before. I've never had control. I've always just let things run the way they were, and now I just feel, you know what, I can do better, do good, feel good. Oh my God, I see your.
Do good, feel good. Always.
I'm telling you, your logo, and it's just like, oh my God, it's all kind of coming together in my head.
Nice, good. And I guess that thing about planning, I mean, I'm a bit like you. I kind of, sometimes I fly by the seat of my pants, and I just think, oh, I can't be bothered to plan, and it always catches up with me. Always,
I know.
So actually, it is about, it takes 5 minutes of your life to write what you're going to do for the day.
Totally.
It takes 20 minutes at the end of each week to map out what you want to do the following week. It takes 2 hours a month to maybe just look at what you want to do the month ahead, but actually the amount of time it saves, not only physical time, but what's going on up here.
And do you know what I think it is, Anna, is the thing is like sowing the seed. If you write it down, you're sowing the seed in your head. And that seed, I think my subconscious works very strongly, more so than my conscious.
What he's doing is he's shutting the door now.
Yeah, no, he's just bursting.
There with bye, Mummy.
Yeah, bye, Mummy. No, he didn't. He came in and got something, so it's okay. I think we're okay. But my subconscious has always been very. I think I've only realised it. I've known for a few years, but my subconscious is a very. It's a strong part of. Some people are a lot more aware of themselves, and I think I amn't as aware. But the work is, my brain is always kind of going continuously. So I think it's finding a way of feeding the subconscious, and I think writing things down, there, having it in front of me. I keep looking like this because I've got a pen and paper here in front of me.
Got a list in front of you, like.
That kind of thing, and just that's what I find is starting to work for me, and it's
Good.
there's things, and I've never put them into place before. So
So,
yeah, so
we've got the ripple effect. It was exercise first, 28-day meal plan.
Yeah.
Planning. Before that, giving up smoking.
Yeah.
Planning.
Yeah.
It really is. You can definitely see that thing, or the domino effect.
Totally. And I'm not saying that I'm great at meal planning has gone a bit like skewy because I've stopped
the thing
smoking.
is, you know what you should and shouldn't be eating now.
That's exactly it. And because I've stopped smoking, my cravings for something are there. So I've given myself a little bit of a lapse. I've given myself a little bit of an opportunity to lapse or whatever. I'm not been hard on myself. But now, this week, starting to pull myself back up again and get back to where I was a couple of weeks ago. And I think a big thing for me in stop smoking, which is something that, obviously I need to do, but I need to keep exercise in my life. And this is the only thing that I've only ever tried that I've been drawn to is WAFA, because of the community, because of you as well. You're amazing, but because of the community and just like the whole kind of the women togetherness thing.
There is, I know it's I don't know how to ever explain it, because sometimes I feel like I'm being a bit sexist when I talk about it, about the women together, and I do genuinely feel like obviously you've got a partner, I've got a partner, my husband, love them dearly, but I do think there is a time and a place when men should be with men and women need to be with women. I think when women are very, very body aware and very conscious of their bodies, and I do think that I remember the days of going to the gym and you would see all these sort of men walking around, and women as well, and you'd be a bit like, oh, I just feel a bit, I mean, not so much for me, but you could see the women who felt that way, and them hiding on the treadmill or whatever. And I just think that I know I'm talking about WAFA because it's my business, but I do think we do have something very special, and that is about the sort of women that have come together.
Totally. And it's just, I think it's a fantastic concept. It really is. And as I said, like, I am trained in mental health and very kind of aware about emotional well-being and stuff like that, but never really got involved in something personally. And this works really well for me because I agree with it 100%. The whole concept, I know it's completely right, and
it's giving you some you time.
It is. And this week I've been shit. Sorry for language, but this week I haven't been great. This week I was doing so well, but this week I've been a bit rubbish. But I'm not going to be too,
can't beat yourself up about it.
No, and I'm not. I'm just like, I'm absolutely committed to what I'm doing, because I know in the long run, I know I needed to keep myself on track, and I've never wanted to keep myself on track before, and I don't know if it's because I'm the other side of 40 now and I need to keep myself on track. Whereas before that, when you're younger, you get away with lots of different things.
But it's that thing of progress, and it's about not expecting perfection every single minute of your life, because it's never going to happen. You haven't got that personality. I probably haven't got that personality. I like to drink wine. I like to eat, I've got a real appetite. But you know what? It's like I used to personally beat myself up every time I would eat too much, and it was so emotionally damaging to my health. And it actually made me eat more and never really move to the next level, because I always beat myself up, went 2 steps back, and then I would stay in that space and stuck. Whereas now I'm like, do you know what? I had a great night last night. Yes, I ate too much. Yes, maybe too many glasses of wine, but do you know what? I had a great night, and I'm just
And do you know what? Life is too short to beat yourself up. I think as long as you're striving and you're feeling happy in yourself and what you're doing, that's the key to me, is feeling happy, is feeling content, is to feel that I don't have a particular goal except to live longer.
Well, you stopped smoking, so that's one tip.
That's amazing. And the fact that it's not even bothered me. You know, I went to a party on Saturday, and me and my friend Karen were both there, and she smokes. She's a social smoker, and we're both kind of. We said it the next day to each other. It's like, if somebody was smoking at that party, we would have been in there for a little, a little smoke, but nobody was, and it was fine, and we felt so much better. Yeah, that's what Ed says, and he's like, "Suze, nobody smokes anymore."
So where do you, I mean, I know you said you haven't got a goal, but in 6 months' time, what would you like to think that you've achieved? You know,
so in 6 months' time, I would like to continue the way of my thinking now, and I'm never going to be regimented or that disciplined that I have to write a list and stick to it, or my life is not complete. But I'm looking forward to getting to know a different side of me, a different part of me. So for the last 20 odd years, I've been very much party girl, and that's where my life is I've just like, seen where life is taking me, kind of thing. And now I'm at a stage where I feel like I want to take more control of my life, and I'm ready to do that. And so in 6 months' time, I would like to see myself being a little bit more disciplined. Like, so when I make a plan and doing something, I go ahead and do it. I don't change it like 5 minutes or 10 minutes beforehand or a day beforehand, whatever. I just want to be more disciplined, and I want to instill that like Jack is to my son, he's 2.5, and I want him to maybe be a little bit more together than his mother.
That's fair enough.
To lead by a good example.
But you are, and the thing is, the important thing also is that you enjoy your life, because it is for living.
Yeah, absolutely.
Readjusting the balance so that maybe the party girl comes out every now and again, but it's not a regular.
Exactly.
I mean, to be honest, having a 2.5-year-old with a hangover is probably not an option these days.
It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. It actually does stop you in your tracks.
That's why I don't have children, but dog, and he's just like, oh god. And
yeah, that's okay. You can just feed the dog twice a day. It's fine.
So I guess, and I do always ask the questions, as somebody who does deal with people with mental health, I think that one of the biggest challenges for women who have got mental health problems is they so desperately want to do something like WAFA.
Yeah.
But there's a barrier, there's something that's just holding them back. What could you say?
Well, all I can say is from my own experience is that the thing that stopped me from going back to WAFA was the fact that I smoked. And I always felt that I need to be healthy before I get healthy. That was it. I need to be healthy before I get healthy. And then it's kind of like
that's just never going to happen, is it? You need to
almost. Never going to happen.
You're going to start. You've got to start.
You have to start somewhere, and I was always putting this obstacle in my way. So I don't know. I feel I don't know if that's it. I felt like I need.
I like that. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I think that you're right. Actually, thinking about it, I think there is an element of that fear of I'm not healthy enough to be able to do something like this.
Yeah.
So
and I need to sort myself out before I start feeling better.
And then they never do, because they're trying to do it on their own. And I do get, people will apply and then I never hear from them again. And I think of, I so want to do this, and then actually I'm not quite there yet. And I think I never thought of it like that before, but I think you're right. If you've got any sort of condition, unless you're completely desperate.
But it's kind of like finding that starting point in yourself, which is, I need to start tomorrow. The thing that made me join WAFA again is you, Anna, and your down-to-earth attitude and your down-to-earth conversation. You made me feel really comfortable. I didn't feel judged. I was like, and I was so embarrassed, because smoking was such an embarrassment to me. I used to hide when I smoked, and still trying to hide it from my mother, and it stinks. You can't hide smoking. But you know, once I said it to you, I knew that, and I guess it's just saying it out loud. Once you say something out loud, you're ready to change. And for me, it was about saying it out loud to the right person, which was you. So.
And I think also just being feeling like you're, you know, I really don't judge people, because I am absolutely no angel. I have got my history.
Yes,
And
but I don't think people won't know that until they get to know you. That's the thing, because I knew that from before, like a year ago, and always, for me, it was always something I was going to go back to. I was going to go back to Anna, like Anna with her open arms.
I'm not she's my kind of girl. She's coming back.
So that's the way that I felt. So it's kind of like getting that. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's just.
Well, I think it is when you can reassure people that they are, women in particular, that they are coming into a safe place where, you know, you're surrounded by women who are on their own health journey.
Yeah.
You know, they've all come into the WAFA world with something that's making them unhappy, and so no one's there to judge them. No one's going to be like, oh, well, look at me, I've done that. You know, people who've succeeded at WAFA love to tell their story to help the women, not to be all showy offy and, oh, aren't I great?
And I think as well, I think the whole concept that you have going, it's like, it's kind of like a recovery program, but not so. It's like, I say that because it's like, if you're ready to change yourself, here we go. We've got this. Come to WAFA if that's what you want to do, but you have to be ready. And it's hard work. It's bloody hard work, physically and mentally. It's hard, but it comes together. It comes together, but you have to be ready to be able to change. That's basically it.
You do. You have to be ready, and that's absolutely right. Well, I'm so glad that you did come back to WAFA, because I feel like this time as well, I think your head is in a different place. You've got far more involved with everybody. You've been, you know, you've been coming to the check-ins, you've been doing the cook-alongs, but you've also been far more communicative within. I think you've got your confidence a bit within WAFA as well. And I just think it's great. And I think one of my favorite.
I think personally, I feel I'm ready to. I'm not sure if I like this term, but reach out, reach out more, but reach out to people, or just like kind of communicate and just kind of like just say, well, you know, I'm going through the same thing, or even if you just say to somebody, well done to somebody, it's somebody acknowledging that you're there. And I think, I think us women need to do that a lot more with each other.
We do, and I have to say, one of my highlights was you getting your fringe cut and writing.
I'm not sure I had a good fringe day.
Oh, it's a great fringe, but it was you wrote it in such a way that it was almost like you're like a sort of something that had switched and changed.
It had. I remember writing that, and I just felt everything that I wrote, and it was such a I just started writing it, and it was just started jumping in. No,
it was lovely
thing, and I just like posted it, and I was like, oh well. And I wouldn't have another platform to post that in, or I wouldn't have wanted to post that anywhere else. You know, I would have kept it inside myself, except for this was the community that I have, you know, joined, and
I love it. Well, look, I think we have covered so much, and thank you so much for sharing that, because I think that, well, we've certainly talked way more about more than I had expected, and I've learned so much more about you, which I absolutely love. And I think that you've got a nice, I think what people will take from this, certainly women, is that you can make a change. And even though like for the smoking, you might be embarrassed or ashamed in some way, but just do it. Just get on with it, and then
just do it. You just have to take that first step. It's just all about taking the first step, Anna. And it's so I procrastinate about procrastinating. That's how much of a procrastinator I am. You know, it's just about just being. You have to be bloody ready. No matter what you do in life, you have to be ready. I have to be. I can't. Because I can't force myself to do anything. I have to be ready.
And now, well, you are, and you're on a roll now.
On a
You're on
roll.
your journey.
Let's have a chat in 6 months' time.
So much, Suzanne. I really, really appreciate it. What's the name of my 6-week program again? Just
say that again.
what's the name of my 6-week program?
Oh my God, Body Fix in 6.
And on that.
I've already achieved. I don't need to. Thank you. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.